Welcome back to Afternoon Live. When a friend is diagnosed with cancer, the unknown can feel pretty scary for both of you. Here with advice on the best way to support your friend is a woman who's been there. We welcome the author of Make Your Mess Your Message, More Life Lessons from and for My Girlfriends, life coach and breast cancer survivor, Sherry Lead. It is so good to see you.
Hi, so good to see you too. I can't believe October already.
I can't believe it. Well, and I'm glad you're here. This is a really important topic, and you have some personal expertise. Can you walk us through your own cancer journey and what the beginning of that was like for you?
Sure. Well, I was 47 years old and going through my kids were in high school at the time. It was before they got to the driving age. So I was still being that busy taxi mom.
Yeah.
And I got the call that literally dropped me to my knees. It was my doctor on the other end saying, I'm sorry, your biopsy came back, you have cancer.
And that was kind of the beginning. You didn't realize at the time, but the rest of your life was going to be completely different after that.
Yes, and like I said, it's the call you never want to get. So it was one of the hardest years of my life, but also probably the year of most growth I ever had.
Really hard to walk through, but you're so, I mean, you're just incredible on the other side of this. Tell me about your health now. You're doing great, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So now I am 6 years, no evidence of disease.
Amazing.
Yeah. Last year, my doctor, when I was in his oncology office, he said those words I did want to hear. You know, congratulations.
Good.
You have 5 years. You made it. No evidence of disease. And honestly, I exhaled. I didn't realize I had been holding my breath for 5 years.
I bet. That's such a huge milestone. So let's talk about if you are on this journey, you want to support a friend who's going through this. You have some ideas of things we should not say to our friends.
Yes, and these are things that I said myself before I was on the receiving end. So these are well-intended, comments that people make. One is friends will say things like, you're so brave, you're a warrior, you inspire me. And quite honestly, that was really hard to hear when I was going through the process, because no one chooses to have cancer and to go through the process. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what choice do I have? And it almost gives the person who's experiencing cancer, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think a lot of these are universal feelings, it almost gives that person it stops them from telling people, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I feel lonely, because you've been put on this pedestal for what you're going through. So now I stay away from saying that to someone else, you're brave or you're a warrior. Maybe that's something later on, but not in the midst.
Sure. And then on the flip side, you have some suggestions of ways that we can support our friends in a meaningful and healthy way?
Yes. So basically, 2 of my friends, and they happen to also have been breast cancer survivors, they were the best. What they did was they checked in with me regularly. And also when they did, they said, you don't have to, we don't expect anything from you. You don't have to respond. You don't have to tell us how you want us to help you.
Sure.
I'm just going to check in and let you know I'm thinking of you. So I think that's the best advice, honestly, for anyone going through, whether it's cancer, some other health problem in their life, just saying, hey, you don't have to respond. I'm going to check in with you from time to time, just saying, hey, I'm here for you.
That means so much, and just keeping that communication open with a trusted friend that when they're ready, they will open up to you.
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't want to talk. I remember telling my friends I had cancer and feeling so exhausted afterwards because I was helping everyone else feel okay.
Yeah, you were their therapist in that moment, which is the last thing you needed to be doing.
Exactly. So now when my friend's going through difficulties like cancer or even something personal with jobs, I just say, hey, I'm going to check in from time to time. You don't need to respond, but I want you to know I'm here.
Are there ways that you can physically assist beyond just letting them know that you're there? Like, I think of things like meal trains and providing support, picking up kids from school. Do you have to kind of tread lightly on boundaries there?
I think so. There's people that are helpers, right? And they just want to jump in and they start that calendar and have friends sign up. And it's such an individual, unique process to everyone. I used to joke, I'd say, no meals allowed. I have cancer. I don't need to eat all this food too, That's the last thing. I don't need lasagnas plus cancer.
Sure.
But it depends on the individual, and really asking, instead of assuming this is what you need or this is what your family needs too, because quite frankly, those meals come, you got to wash the dishes, figure out who this belongs to, and could add extra work, and also you feel guilty maybe that you aren't doing things for other people.
Well, and you said in the beginning, it's a lot of well-meaning people who love you and want to reach out, but maybe those efforts are misguided sometimes. But you also have some beautiful stories of when you're ready to open up to those friends, like you traveled the 50 states and met someone new all over the country.
Yeah.
You have a really special story of connecting with someone that you were able to open up to and kind of make a breakthrough emotionally in your journey.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking that you're talking about the woman Connie in Colorado. So she and I had never sat down. We met briefly here, or not here, in Seattle. Never sat down and shared a meal together. We did. And at the time, I was going through a lot of personal difficulty in my marriage, 26 years of marriage. And I shared this with her. I had become a stay-at-home mom. You know, I wasn't the breadwinner, so there were some fears of leaving that. But also, I told her, we were about the same age, she and I said, man, I can't imagine dating again. How do you explain to somebody that my body, my scars, what I've gone through, how do you bring up that conversation? And she looked at me and she said, Sherry, if you meet the right person, you'll never have to explain. And honestly, that changed my mindset. I started to think of my body as not something that was maimed and to be ashamed of, but really proud of what I was able to go through.
Yes.
And I'll share with you, just you, and maybe all of Portland, but she was right, and I did meet somebody who I never have to explain.
That is so wonderful. And I can imagine so many women can relate to the exact words that you said, that fear and anxiety about the unknown moving forward. And having that friend to lean on was just life-changing for you in that moment.
She was a stranger at the time, and now she is. Now she is a trusted friend. And it changed my life and gave me courage that I didn't know that I still needed to have.
We're so happy for you, and thank you for opening up and sharing with us. It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot, you know, and it comes up. I think that one last thing I would say, you know, I share things publicly. Other people share their journey, but remember, it's that woman or that man's journey to share. And it's hard when somebody else takes your story without your permission and shares it. So just respect people's, you know, people's abilities to share their own story.
Everybody at their own pace and their own timing. Well, it was great to see you. Thank you so much. Sherry's book, again, is Make Your Mess Your Message. We'll have more information on our website at KATU.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.